Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm your host, MrSeeker, and this video is going to be a bit different from the others we made. Joe Biden. Stop this man. This old man, he played one. He's playing knick-knack on the world's drums. This man is on a rampage right now. After, clearing off his debt with Kamala, he is now making a minefield for Donald Trump. The once he sets his legs on the minefield, kaboom. This is the blueprint of what Joe Biden has planned for Donald Trump. But let's talk about his presidency. Why is it happening? Why is this old man desperate to make this whole conflict go global and, be more bloody, be more, disastrous, be nuclear? What does he want that? Let us go through that. The entire presidency of Joe Biden is set with failures. USA to the world has been presented as a clown state. The legitimacy that USA provided, the security guarantees that USA provided, are not being legitimate, are not being heard. If you look at the Saudi Arabians, they're partnering with the Russians. If you look at the Israelis, they are finding new friends. Ukraine, it's all, he has deployed his funds towards Ukraine, trying to build a Cold War legacy out of this war because in no fair mind is this war legitimate. From Russia's side, from whatever side, it's a different topic. Why this war started, what made this war start, why is it legitimate, why is it illegitimate? That's a different video. That's for some another day, right? Same for the Israel-Hamas war. That's for some another day. We don't want to talk about it now. What we want to talk about is the consequences of US being an absolute clown state with no security guarantees, with, getting the burden of being the arms factory, but not delivering what they want to, all right? Joe Biden has presented himself to be a very weak leader, a very weak president for the whole world. But this man, as he's going away with 1.5 months left, he wants to set a legacy. He wants to leave a legacy no American would forget. This man, with the deep state, which he was a part of, or with the Chinese, I don't know, he is on a rampage right now. The way he's supplying Ukraine with weapons right now, the recent orders to hit Russian targets inside Russia, which led Russia to use Oreshnik, uh, intermediate range, intermediate range ballistic missile. Sorry, I have a sore throat. My nose is running. You can see the whole red scenario over here. It's because of a bad timing with bathing, right? I'm sorry about that. So the whole Russia-Ukraine situation, the way it's going on, the way the deep state is thinking, with the way the players in the Congress are thinking, are not good. Letting Ukraine use these missiles on Russia, on a nuclear state of Russia. Wait for a second. It's just calling for an Armageddon. 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 So it's calling for an Armageddon. I messed it up. Okay, it's calling for that. And believe it or not, the whole world is going to suffer if a nuke is being used somewhere. The whole Europe is going to suffer from the ashes of the nuke, the blast radius of the nuke. Even a tactical nuclear missile is not, a thing to joke about, right? If a nuke is dropped, a nuke is dropped. These nukes are all greater than the ones used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They're not TNT that you drop them if they blast and it's over. That region has to be cleaned. It has to be unradiated, non-radiated again, right? So it's a whole fiasco. And Joe Biden is planning for that. He's giving Ukraine, you know, I don't know how many $billions. He's given up like half of US's defense budget to Ukraine, which is crazy, right? Look at China's defense budget. It's maximum $500 billion, right? India's defense budget, which is like $100 billion, right? And Ukraine has received like $300 billion right now. And how many has this man gulped up? Who knows? Joe Biden is creating rockets for the world. That's from Ukraine. With the Israel Hamas war, this man has set up an embargo. I don't know why. Because Israel is the closest ally, leave out ally. It's the gatekeeper of the Middle East. If America enters the Middle East, the first response team is Israel. The American interests, the American bases, the American oil assets, everything in the Middle East that America owns is secured by Israel. And getting an embargo on Israel is foolishness, utter foolishness. Leave all religious, you know, religious belief, religious BS, leave all that now. The important thing is what assets do you have and what security guarantees do you have from the state? And Israel guarantees security to every American asset. America instructs Israel, and Israel does that, right? And when Israel is in a very, I would say, formulated conflict, and this conflict is not normal too. That's for some other video again. This conflict is not normal. This is a conflict that is created by making Russia go in China's side. Russia and China have their own problems. China claims Vladivostok. That's a port city in Russia. China claims that. And I'm quite sure with this weak Russia, which is embedded within the Chinese state, China will go after Russia after they've gone after Taiwan. Same with India, right? The fact is, putting Russia in China's basket wasn't smart. Russia ain't an enemy state at all with the US. The US has made Russia the enemy state. The Cold War mentality, USSR doesn't exist, but for Joe Biden, it does. Now, the unholy nexus of Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, it's going to cost the US. North Korea, in return for oil, presents, bears, tigers, whatever they wanted from Russia, they've sent 10,000 troops, right? Now, looking at that, NATO is, NATO is excited. They also want to send troops to Ukraine to fight because now it's a legitimate global war. North Korean troops haven't been inside the war right now. They're in the training phase. 10,000 have reached. Another 2,000 will reach pretty soon, which is not good news. Next, Russia has supplied arms to the Houthis, anti-ship missiles, ballistic missiles, drones, helicopters, whatever they needed. They supply them to the Houthis in return for rebels because there's no Russian embassy in Sana. They've created this whole FSI whole thing with FSI and they're supplying weapons to the Houthis. You recently heard the news of Hezbollah, right? Israel burned down, they blasted a whole ammunition depot with Russian weapons, not Chinese weapons. China is the deal broker here. China is friends with Iran, North Korea, the Middle Eastern states, right? China brokers deals, Russia goes and makes the deals. And this is what's happening all around the world. China is standing. China wants to deter the US from coming to the South China Sea, right? And this is the perfect way China is keeping US away from the South China Sea. Because if you look at Taiwan, it's naked right now. They can go invade Taiwan with not an appropriate, with not a timely response from the NATO allies. All the videos that people make on the internet, it's difficult because three wars, supporting three wars is not easy. Joe Biden is in the mood for a third war. Thank Lord he didn't win. Now, during the period everything was happening when Joe Biden's image was burned down by Donald Trump, right? Here comes Kamala Harris. She sees the perfect opportunity. The first presidential debate, Joe Biden is blasted, burned down, absolutely roasted by Donald Trump. Now this lady sees the opportunity and she goes all in. She, along with Some other, loyalists of her, like Obama, Michelle Obama, they go on a coup mode with Joe Biden. Just imagine your president has a bad image right now. He's being accused, in fact, he has dementia. These people suddenly decide, okay, we gotta make this count. We gotta throw Joe Biden over the table. They did. Kamala was the new presidential candidate from the Democrats. There was no debate who was more legitimate. Kamala just went in. A deep state product just went in because she had the backing of other deep state products. Nancy Pelosi, the Obama family. So, but this coup failed. This coup failed big time. Joe Biden's voter base, they never came out to vote. Neither did they vote Trump, nor did they vote Biden. They just, you know, it's like abstination in the UN. I'm not selecting any. I'm not with anyone. Let it roll. They accepted the fate that we can't have Kamala as the president. But I am not being the one burden you with Trump. Trump supporters can vote Trump, but we won't vote for Trump. So if you see the polling results from 2020 and 2024, much lesser votes were cast, and hence Donald Trump won in all those states, right? Okay, Donald Trump had converted voters. He had the backing of the youth through Vivek Ramaswamy. He had the backing of many more big names because of Elon Musk. All that counts. But it also counts that Joe Biden's very loyal voters didn't vote for him, right? Sorry, didn't vote for Kamala Harris. Now the fact is how this goes. Joe Biden is on his way to make a minefield for Trump. Trump enters the office and boom, kaboom, it all happens. And I feel that this guy is gonna, give weapons to Ukraine in the short period to the brim. He's gonna do things to not make Trump fulfill his promises. I'll get the war settled in 24 hours. If Ukraine is targeting Russia, Russia will now target Ukraine. When Donald Trump comes in power, the land swap is being done where Ukraine loses a whole lot of land to Russia. Russia wants to advance right now. And the way the Russian advance is working is in the mechanism that Donald Trump is going to come, let Russia have the land, and Ukraine will be sad. That's what uh, Russia has been thinking. Joe Biden just uses opportunity to deter Russia by using ATCAMS and anti-personnel mines, which are banned by 150 countries. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Trump is going to have a very hard time solving this whole crisis. The Israel-Hamas war, Trump is going to give a blank check to Netanyahu. Mark that. Iran is going to have a bad time. You think this war is getting over and everything goes right? No. This war's getting over, a bigger war is waiting, right? So that's it for the video. But help Joe Biden and watch out for Trump.